The AIGP and Chief Political Commissioner, Uganda Police, MBALE, in partnership with UNICEF, has launched the Children Diversion Guidelines training for police officers at Courtsview Hotel, Mbale City, on measures to be applied when children are against the law. He says that children with petty offences should be cancelled to a level where they can fit in the society.
Child has stolen a banana and you want this child arrested. Mangoes. Even if this child stole, a goat. So how can this child be, cancelled and brought back to the level that he or she can fit in society? Why are we arresting people and, minor offenses? As we've said, a person has stolen a banana in the village, and you are detaining this person for a full week in the cell. RPC, is it necessary? No. Minor offenses. What is the use of the bond? Is that police form 18? Yes. Why can't it be used? Really stealing? Yes, I know. Stealing is stealing, and offense is an offense. But now you are detaining this person for a week. Of what use is it? And yet these cases can be handled with the village councils. You refer this case to the LOC to sit, and this person pays back the banana. Says given a period, because the banana costs how much in the village? 6,000, even if it is 10,000. This person can allow to say, well, I can sort out this. But now for us, we are busy saying, no, we are detaining you and you are being processed, taken to court. Something can be done to decongest ourselves, but also to care about the rights. I've talked about the 48 hours. It comes with an exception, but we have to enforce it. Those of you are here who are in charge, some DPCs here, OC stations, please, 48 hours. Use PF18. Children in conflict with the law must be looked at as children. And how can they be reconciled with the society, with the communities, so that they can be helped? These children, as Dr. Kamya said, maybe it's the age. They are growing, the hormones are disturbing them. Maybe it is peer influence. So will you kill this child? We've seen parents who have tied their children and in an awkward state, to a near-death situation. So what is our work? Our work is to sensitize. Community policing now comes into play. First of all, the parents must first know their what? Their roles and responsibilities and their rights over these children. So you have a bigger challenge to get back to the community and sensitize the communities, the parents, about their roles. One of the mandates is to protect the rights of the vulnerable, the children, and the women. So now you are being trained on how to protect these children. How can we help out to ensure that their rights are protected, to ensure that they are safeguarded, but at the same time, they fit in society where they are living? Parents have abdicated their duties. How do we bring them back to order, to know their responsibilities? Instead of now coming, running to police, police munyambe, omwana zayanemye, musobora. So, if you cannot manage your child, who is going to manage the child for you? And then you are running police. So this is our duty to go back and help. Now that we are going to be equipped, we are going to be trained, to be enhanced with knowledge and skills, let's go back and make a change in the lives of these children, to sensitize the communities, the families, on how best they can protect the rights of the children to fit in society. The issue of children world over, the juveniles who get in conflict with the law, we are treated differently from adults as you're going to be trained. And in fact, the processing of such children through the justice system is carefully handled to cater for the varying needs of the children, which in turn constitutes their rights. So that's why we are mandated to protect the rights of these children as police, but specifically for the Directorate of CPC and in particular the Department of Child and Family. And therefore the purpose of this training is to equip you, the officers who are here, with the knowledge, the skills, and the attitudes necessary to handle the juvenile cases in a manner that promotes the best interests of the children and align with the juvenile justice system so as to prioritize rehabilitation over punitive measures. We are saying children should be rehabilitated, not to be bundled and taken to the prison. This training will mainly focus on diversion of children cases while avoiding the formal judicial proceedings wherever and whenever it's appropriate. If a child goes beyond, then we should also know how to address such challenges. It's therefore very important that police officers understand the juvenile system in their country, in their areas of jurisdiction, so as to process the children through the system without necessarily violating their rights, the established principles and procedures put in place to protect the children. So all this we must be well acquainted with on how best we can protect the rights of these children without necessarily subjecting them to the judicial system. In many countries, diversion is now the main method of dealing with children while in conflict with the law. If you went to the Western countries, there is nothing like taking children to court, but the diversionary measures, how best are they reconciled in the society where they are staying? I think if you go to some areas, you not see street children because the communities care. Children are not for an individual, they are for the community. Therefore, when you see children on the streets, there is a sign of a gap. There is a missing link in the community. Mbale, the children are cropping up. Of course, I know you will say they are coming from Karamoja especially, right? But also there are some who are from within. It's a challenge we need all to own up. All of us. Otherwise, we find ourselves losing out on these children and they become a menace in our societies. Diversion measures are also increasingly used for children who are repeat offenders, of course, as I said, and by not giving up so that we give them hope and know that there is a better tomorrow. Continued counseling, guiding can always help to put these children into order. Police officers, by training, by profession, are mentors, are counselors, are teachers. All of us here, we are counselors. You don't have to be in charge CFPU, you don't have to be CRO, you don't have to be, we are all teachers, we are counselors, and therefore we are supposed to do that. Counseling these children, counseling their parents. It doesn't have to stop on the children, but also on their parents, on their roles and responsibilities, on how to bring up these children very well. Uganda as a country is a signatory of the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Children, according to UNCRC 1989, and the African Charter on the Rights and Welfare of the Children, which form the basis of child protection and juvenile justice. We need to be acquainted with all these charters so that we can be able to know how to deal with the rights of children and the juvenile justice system. UNCRC Article 40 mandates the state parties to seek the establishment. I think we need to take notes, officers, because all this we are mentioning is part of training. Kindly have your notebooks and take notes. It's necessary. You need these, you need to refer to these notes. If you want to know the juvenile justice, if you want to know the children's rights, you need to read these articles. Yes, so please don't just put your eyes on me. It is good to listen, but we do listen and also write something. So I'm saying UNCRC Article 40 mandates state parties to seek the establishment of the appropriate and desirable measures for dealing with children under the age of 18 years without resorting to the judicial proceedings. This article emphasizes diversion of juvenile offenders. This is a repetition of what we are saying. We are repeating ourselves so that we understand this, that children in conflict with the law must be diverted from the judicial system and be helped on how to fit within the communities. The legal framework for the administration of justice, of juvenile justice in Uganda, has its roots in the United Nations Standard Minimum Rules. United Nations Standard Minimum Rules for the administration of juvenile justice of the 1985, the Beijing Rules. The United Nations Rules for the protection of the juveniles deprived of their liberty of the 1990, the Riyadh Rules.
According to him, 6 regions were invited, and them as police will continue guiding and counseling so that one day they will be there, because there is some work in progress and an impact in society now.
I'm here in this region to launch the training of the CID, CFPO, and records officers on the application of the diversion guidelines for children. These are measures that are applied when children are in conflict with the law to ensure that they are not taken through the judicial system, but rather other diversionary or alternative measures are used to handle them in case they get in conflict with the law. And that's why I'm here to launch the training. We've brought to regions, different regions, 6 regions, which include Mount Moroto, Mount Elgon, Choga, North and East, to ensure that they are here and they tap from this knowledge. We have actually gotten partners who have helped us, like UNICEF has helped us in this training, which is fully funded by UNICEF, and several other trainings that we have had. However, as you say, the cases are rising. This is not a one-day's job. You very well know that with our society, with the discipline, there are so many children who are in conflict with the law. And we continue guiding, we continue counseling. One day we shall be there. But it is work in progress, and I should say that there is an impact where we have been. We keep on seeing children improving, less cases being reported and more cases being handled at the LCs. So it's work in progress, and I'm sure we shall be there. Yes, the challenges are immense. One is that we have not trained all our child and family protection officers, which we are arranging. It is also work in progress. So we need to train all of them to be inducted on how they can use these diversionary measures. And of course, this comes with the scarce resources, but slowly by slowly, we shall have all of them trained.
Deborah Gasana, who represented UNICEF at the launch, said that children who commit offenses for the first time should not be taken as violent offenders, and diversion measures should be used even when we have repeat offenders.
Is one of those reforms to ensure that children are prioritized, especially for children who are in conflict with the law. We note that for children who have committed an offense for the first time, they shouldn't be taken as violent offenders, depending on the type of offense that they have committed. So diversion measures are increasingly being used even where we have repeat offenders. I know some officers have mentioned for cases of recidivism, if a child is 12 years plus and is a repeat offender, they are not entitled to diversion. But I need to tell you that we should be able to look at this child, look at the child, and give them an opportunity for reform. So even for those who have committed serious offenses, there are circumstances in which we should be able to look at diversion. Diversion is meant to redirect children who are in conflict with the law away from the justice system, You know, police officers, you have an opportunity that these cases where the child has not been taken to an LC, they will bring directly this child to the police. Why? because I know some parents are tired, the community is tired. Some of us as parents are not doing our responsibility to ensure that we take care of these children. Some parents are tired so early, or some of us have actually given our children to our parents, the grandparents, the paternal, maternal aunties. Some parents have abdicated their responsibilities. And in doing so, some of these children have actually gotten into conflict with the law without not knowing. Reason being that some are not taking these children to school. Some have not prioritized to ensure that the children can actually be kept in school. Children can actually be disciplined from home using positive methods. These children can actually be talked to and they can reform. They can be given mild punishments without necessarily harsh punishments that will send them away from home. So diversion, as you'll keep learning, is a concept which is coming from international instruments, coming also from our legal jurisdiction here in Uganda. So if you talk about the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child, diversion, if you look at Article 40 of the UN Convention, it talks about diversion being a measure without resorting to judicial proceedings. And police, we are the ones who will prevent this child from getting into the judicial proceedings. So is it possible that we can understand what diversion is so that we're able to use it? In my day-to-day work, I interact with the Ministry of Gender, the remand homes, and we find so many children in institutions. Currently, the remand home congestion is at above 200%. 70% of those cases are petty offenders. Why are they there? Because you, as a police officer, you have not done your role. And it's my humble appeal to you that when you understand diversion, be able to use this diversion to prevent as many children from getting into the justice system. I'm telling you that you have a crucial role to play. Please make use of that role.
She also says that partnership with police is to ensure that children in conflict with the law can be supported before they get into the justice system, because they take children as innocent beings who should always be guided.
Our partnership and collaboration with Uganda Police Force is to ensure that children who are in conflict with the law, children who commit offenses, can be supported before they get into the justice system through diversion. Our support and collaboration with Uganda Police is to ensure that children, innocent as they are, even while they have committed offenses, they can be diverted so that they don't get into the justice system. We take children as innocent beings who are there to be guided, to be counseled, even when they have committed offenses, to ensure to it that we can provide the counseling, we can divert them into rehabilitation for them to be able to reform. We do not want to see children getting into remand homes, into prisons, getting incarcerated or imprisoned for petty offenses. We would like to ensure that children can be supported. And we know that police is a key partner, because the ones who receive cases as a point of first instance, when these cases come from the LCs, when children have committed offenses, police should be there to be able to assess the children, especially for children who are 12 years, if they have committed offenses, to ensure that they look into the background of this child. What is the parenting? Have the parents failed on their responsibility? Is the child on the street? There must be a problem. But when they come to police, we would want police as one key actor in the justice system to ensure that these children are not locked up, are looked at as children who should be guided and supported. So they should be able to divert petty offenders and take them into rehabilitation and take them into community-based measures that can actually help these children to be able to reform, to be better citizens. Our partnership with Uganda Police has been for as long as UNICEF has been in Uganda, and I must tell you it is over 20 years now. But in 2019, UNICEF supported Uganda Police to develop the diversion guidelines. And with these diversion guidelines, they are able to equip police officers on what kind of cases can actually be diverted. And I'm happy to hear from Uganda Police now a diversion module has been developed, and this module is going to be trained to police officers right away from the police training school, and it will also be trained with police officers who are in actual day-to-day practice in the different stations. And I'd like to appreciate police that they are doing these regional trainings, not only on the diversion guidelines, but also on the curriculum that they are going to use to ensure that they are able to divert children. They're also going to take note and have data on children who are coming into the justice system, but ensure that for petty offenders, they shouldn't get into the justice system. Police should be a backstop measure to support children, not get into the justice system.
According to SCP John Kamya, Head of Curriculum Development Doctrine, when these new short courses come, such as guidelines, they are important because they give police powers to dispose of children cases without asking anyone, and so many police officers are not aware.
But these short courses, when something comes up, something new, officers need to be taught about it, to develop just that particular skill. Now, in this particular case, diversion guidelines are very important in juvenile justice because the Children Act, right from 1996 when it was enacted by Parliament, it was called the Children's Statute. I was lucky that by then I joined the police already. So I was there when it was being enacted. It gave Inspector General of Police, first of all, it gave powers to police to have a discretion to dispose of children cases at their own discretion without asking anybody. Police was given powers by the law to set matters of children. Children things. Children may make mistakes, and the law may criminalize such a mistake, but you don't need to strictly look at it as a law breaker or a law breaking. You can also consider it as a mistake being driven by age, growth, peer pressure, hormones. The kid may just be testing what his body is telling him, but he infringes on the law. So, and that law told IGP to develop guidelines to guide police officers so that they don't misuse that power. Police officers are not aware about them. So when we call this kind of group, is now to tell them that you have these powers, but how do you use these powers? That's why we are here, and that's what we are going to be discussing in these 2 days. UNICEF helped us to develop the tools that we have to use when we are expressing this discretion, including keeping records, so that at the end of the year, we know how many have we diverted and so on. So we have to, and they even helped us to print, to reproduce those tools. So we are going to introduce these tools to these people and eventually give them to to go and start using them. But most importantly is to give them confidence that you can use your power to divert children, because why would you find children remand homes and reformatory schools full just because the police officer insisted that this boy stole the banana, the yellow banana, and this is against the law, so you must go to court. Yellow banana. Who of us never stole a yellow banana when we were young? Mangoes. Or a mango, or a sugar cane, or sugar. So if the police officers of the time were so strict, we would all be in prison. So that's why we are here, and that's what we are telling you. And we are very happy, sir, that you accepted to come. Amidst your schedule to come and talk to these officers.
I'm Superintendent of Police Birungi Lydia, Regional Child and Family Elgon Region. Today we are here at Courts View Hotel. We are being trained on diversion guidelines. Diversion means diverting cases committed by children which are minor away from normal justice system. In this, it means that if a child who is criminally responsible, that is 12 years and above, and 18 years, commits an offense which is minor, let me say like theft, like affray, like trespass, like assault, instead of us taking him or her through the normal process, the formal process of court, we can, as police, dispose of those cases by either counseling them, by questioning them, encouraging reconciliation between the offender and the victim. The purpose of this is to protect their dignity and to protect them from facing trauma which they get when they are taken to formal justice system. This diversion aims at saving these children such that they can be better children tomorrow, better citizens tomorrow. This diversion helps these children to be rehabilitated and to reform. So the reason as to why we are here is purposely that, such that we can be equipped with that knowledge and not continue taking these children through the formal court systems. We've been doing that, but without the knowledge of this. But now that they've formalized it through the guidelines which were written by the IGP, I know that we can do better now that we are being trained. I'm SP Birungi Lydia, Child and Family Protection Unit, Elgon Region.
I am Superintendent of Police, Komutege Kiwini, the Regional Child and Family Protection Officer, Busoga North. Busoga North is comprised of 4 districts, Kamuli, Luka, Buyende, and Kaliro. I am here for training about children's diversion guidelines. This is basically intended to help officers in empowering them with the skills to better their service delivery when handling juvenile cases or juvenile offenders. Basically, it's important that the children are not taken through the formal justice system, because while they are in that formal justice system, there are challenges they will face. For example, like getting certain kind of behavior which they did not have before, or the kind of character. Because, you know, people gain character via relating with others. So when they are confined somewhere, they will learn or pick the worst behavior. That you will find that a child who had stolen, let us say, 1,000 shillings, tomorrow will come back with other skills of like house breaking. So to avoid that, we need these skills to be able to take back these children in communities. Also probably teach the communities that it is possible to help out a child, not necessarily taking them not necessarily taking them through the formal justice system. Yes, we have been trying to put it in practice. However, I'm aware there's some knowledge gap. So with this training, it has brought in more information and more energy, more power. Or we are reminded of our mandate that we can improve and also take this same information to other people who have remained behind.